Hey everyone, welcome to day two of the tour of Zenler workshop. I should say session two. I'm so used to saying days one, two, three. It's not, it's session two of the tour of Zenler workshop. So it's really great to see you all here. Great to see those of you coming directly into Zoom with us. Yes, we do listen. So you have the option to watch us on Facebook or come into Zoom. Don't do both at the same time when you've got your cameras on because you'll get an echoey feedback. But it's great to see you all here. So today is session two after the epic one that we had on Tuesday. Lots and lots of people getting involved, lots of people commenting, asking questions. Really, really great. This session is going to be even better. Now, I pre-warned you this morning when I went on and did a live and I said, look, this is all about the page builder. So any page builder questions you've got, come in and ask and get them ready for when we do the Q&A bit towards the end. So today, David's here. He's here with me today as well. So David, hi, how you doing?
Hiya, all good. Looking forward to this.
So we're going to talk page builder today. David's going to be running the training. You have me looking after you in the chat. So I'll try my very best to keep, because I've now got two chats to watch. I've got the Zoom chat and I've got the Facebook chat. So can I multitask? I'm a man. I don't know. I'll do my best, but let's see how this could go horribly wrong. I'll tell you, but we'll have a go. Anyway, who have we got in? We've got loads of people coming in. So come in, say hi that you're here. Let us know that you're watching in the Zoom chat as well. Well, I am monitoring that, so you can ask your questions in there as well. So Scott's here. Hi, Scott. Jacqueline's here. Good to see you. And if you're on Facebook, let us know that you're there as well. And I'll be asking you little bits as we go through. But remember, the key here is listen to what David's teaching us throughout the course of this. I've said to him, start right at the very beginning, as if you're talking to someone that's never seen a page builder before, doesn't know what it means. And we're going to do that and get your questions ready to the end. And you can ask any question about the page builder today. If you ask any other question, we're going to defer you to another session because each session is very, very focused until we get to number 11 when it's a free for all and you can go nuts. So you're all headed in there. You're all nice and comfortable. I'm going to hand over to David now and I'll see you guys in the chat and on the Q&A.
Lovely. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, guys, so here's the page builder. So we're going to work through an agenda today. We're going to keep things fairly simple. The page builder is a core feature of the Zenler platform. It is what you use to create most of the main things in your site. And of course, it's front end. It's what people see. So understanding the page builder, and that's what we're talking about today, understanding how it works, why it does certain things, especially for different devices. And we have that a lot with different users saying it doesn't show well on a tablet, it doesn't show well on a mobile. And basically, sorry guys, that is down to you, okay? Not the page builder. If you know and understand how it works and how it works responsively, it's going to make it easier for you. Now we're going to talk about some of the blocks you can drop in. I'm also going to show you a sample of how you can build stuff, and I would like you, there's a couple of Canva templates I'm going to give you as well, so you guys can follow along. And this is a little bit of a competition type thing. Well, it's not really a competition, it's more of a show us what you've done kind of thing. So what's going to happen is this is the second workshop. So now we're hitting the main workshops. Okay, so they're going to be marketing funnels, ones on communities. Each session you're going to be given a little task to do, and when you do it, you want to take a screenshot of it and post it on the Facebook group. You know, maybe say that you're enjoying the workshop if you are, or not. Okay, so if you're not enjoying the workshop, you could put that in there, but you're to take a screenshot of it and put it on the group and say, so it shows to people that, you know, you're learning things, you're enjoying it. So it's really important that other people see that these workshops are really beneficial to you. So let's get on, let's have a look at the agenda now. So guys, great to see you all as well. We've got 21 in here. There's probably a ton on Facebook. It is really key that you understand the page builder. And, you know, if I said this in the first one, it's like all of you that registered should be here and should turn up for this, because later on, when you're asked to do something and they say do this and you can't do it because you haven't watched the page builder, watch the replay. So guys, you're in here now. Jackie was asking for that the other day. We do take what you say really seriously, and that's why we allowed you to come into this group to do this, and we run through it. So great to see you all. Maybe drop in where you're all from, because we like to see where in the world. Generally it's all over the world, especially with this time zone. Seems more worldly. Switzerland, yeah, so we got lots of Europeans in here, and Boston, yeah, we got the US markets, Florida, oh lovely. Oi. So we're coming out of our winter now into our spring, and it's starting to warm up, but it's not a Florida warmth, that's for sure, especially or a Philippines. So 25. Scott, good to see you, Scott. Yeah, see lots of regulars in here and lots of newbies as well, so it's really good. So if you are new to the platform, this would be really beneficial. So what we're going to talk about today, what is the page builder? I've just told you it's a core feature. It's what people use to build their pages. The page builder is featured in so many places within the site, so I'm just going to share it now and we're going to have a look. So first place we're going to look at here is the pages. So underneath site pages, all of these pages, the main pages of your site, are all created using the page builder. Okay, not only that, inside the blogs themselves don't use the page builder, but inside the settings for it and inside the templates, these do use the page builder. Okay, so also all your live booking pages, all of these are page builder. So it's really used, it's a real integral part of the platform, and that's why we say. So what I want to talk to you about now is the main elements in the page builder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a page up that I've built, and I'm going to show you the elements, and I'm going to try and do it in a way that makes it easy for you guys to sort of understand. I'm going to give a kind of analogy of what's going on. So I'm going to flick over to here, and we're going to use this page here. So I'm going to go in, this is the page we've got at the moment, and I've got some blocks in here, don't worry. These blocks are just demo blocks to show you. So this is all created using the page builder, okay? And these are all custom blocks, I've just built these, but we've got ready-made blocks built into it. Now what I want to pick out to you is the way it happens responsively. So if I start to move this browser window down, okay, like this, watch what happens. Everything knocks down, so it still works responsively. Do you see that? And then if I move it back here, it drops back out again. That's a bootstrap or a responsive layout. So what is happening is the main images on this side are dropping below, and that's what happens with any of the rows or the columns within a row. Okay, they drop down underneath each other. So if I was to, for instance, put this image on the left-hand side, when I go down responsively, that left-hand image would stay there, and this block would then drop down below it. And that is it. That is how it works responsively. So I'll jump into the page now, and we'll have a look at the block. So these are the main elements. This is part of the agenda here. So we're now looking at the main elements of the page builder and how it's all built. So back in here, let's open this page up and show you. So that's the page you just looked at, but I'm now in the page builder. So I want to show it to you from a base level. So I'm going to be building this block out myself. So I'm going to go into blocks here on the left hand side. I'm just going to drop in an empty block and drag it across. Right, drag it across. That's a key word. The page builder inside Zenler allows drag and drop. Now it's not click and add, right? Lots of, pretty much all of the main platforms, and you guys can back me up on this, have click and add, right? Things like Divi Builder, click and add. It's not true drag and drop. And I'll go so far as to say that Zenler is probably one of the only ones that have true drag and drop. And that's why a lot of you guys love it, because you can drag elements around inside, okay? And that is a core thing that Zenler has, and that's why people love it. That's why I love it. So this block, empty block that I've added in, is a blue block, okay? Now a blue block is a self-containing block. So if I show you here, Sandy loves the drag and drop feature, but look at this, look, this block is just this block. If I go down to the blue one here, again, it's just this block, all right? So you can see it's just that block. So you can put main content blocks, the blue ones, contains a block. Okay, so that's a block of stuff that you want to add in there. So inside a block, you can't put anything in there until you add a row. So if we go add a row, inside here, you have the choice of different rows, but this choice of rows means kind of nothing. And I'll tell you why. A lot of people go, I'm going to go for the 33, or do I go for the 4x4, or do I go for 25, 25, 50? I don't know. Let's just show you. If I click 100% row, you're now going to see inside there, I've got a green one, and green represents rows and columns in that row. So if I want to add a new, and this might be a little bit of a light bulb moment for you guys, if I want to add a column inside this one column row, which I selected, I can right hand click and I can add a new column like this. And now I've got this little thing in the middle and I can change it to whatever I like that. You can also go, I don't like that column, to right hand click, delete the column out. So right hand click allows you extra features. Right, so Cheryl said yes, light bulb moment. So it's a lot quicker, isn't it? I know a lot of people that go, oh no, it's the wrong block, I need an extra column, oh I'll have to put that one in and I'll have to take this one and delete it out, and they go through all this stuff, and they might even have content in there, right? And the good thing about this is you can even have content in here and delete things out. So if I had content in this row and this row, okay, and in this column and this column, sorry, and I wanted to get rid of this column that's got nothing, I can right hand click and delete, and I won't lose the data in either of the rows. Again, another light bulb moment for you guys. Okay, so we've now understand that we have a blue block that contains the content. We have inside here a green row that can be split up into columns. What is the next thing? The only thing we need next is something to put in there, and these are called elements. And if you click add an element, you're going to get all our elements come up. They also put the rows in as well, but if we go to heading, for instance, I can click the heading and the heading will appear in there. Now I can click this and I can click the plus. I know a lot of people, right? I know a lot of people that don't click the plus. So are you one of these guys that don't click the plus? Because there are guys that come, they go over to the elements here and they go in and they go, oh, because remember it's true drag and drop, and they put it in like that. But doing it like this is so much quicker, because bang, it comes up. You can select which ones you want, a bit of text, drop it in there, and it's just much, much quicker. All right, so that is definitely for you. So understand that we have a blue block, green rows that you can split up into columns. The elements are red and they go inside. Okay, so that's how that works. So looking at it from a point of view of understanding it, I'm going to jump to a little draw sheet for you. So 2 seconds. So elements still, we're still on elements. And this is to make it really clear. This is the first time I tried this, guys, so it could go wrong. All right, so inside here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little box to represent what we're doing here. So let's see if it works. So here we go. So this is our blue containing block, which I've created. Okay. So inside that, we're going to have a row, which is going to be a green block inside here, like this. So this is our row that we can, of course, split up into columns, okay, for our content. Okay, we can also create a row underneath to contain more content. So if we want a 2 column and then a 1 column row, we can create another row and put it in there like that. And then inside that comes our red elements. So whatever we want to put inside there, we can put inside there like that. That's how it works. Now remember, from a responsive point of view, that this one here will drop down there if it's on a mobile, okay? And then this block here will drop down there. And that's how it works. So it just drops underneath each other. Now you're going to notice here in this area, there's a big space, right? So by default, this is the page layout. It's just in line and it just leaves margins left and right. But we can override that if we go into the actual page and we set something on the block. And this is where I'm now coming into settings with the block. Right. I know what I'm doing tonight, says Barbara. Okay. Right. So if we click this block, now I'm going to start to look at slightly other things. We know we've got rows, we can split columns, we can put content in there, such as images, we can put text in there. Very easy to do. We just drop it all in straight like that and bang, it just appears. See how quick I've done that. But underneath all of these, underneath all these elements, you're going to see other things going on. So this is delete. So anything you see that, if you click that, it will delete that out. So if I do it for this one, for instance, we click delete and I can delete it out. Okay. So the next thing we've got is clone. And I use clone. I don't know if you do, guys, but I use clone all the time. Like clone is I use it so many times. I'll create a cloned object and then I'll drag it into a different area. The reason I do this is I might spend a lot of time formatting a block into the right text, into the right size, into the right color, and I want to duplicate it. So duplicating is really cool. So if I take this, for instance, I can duplicate this block out and then I could drop it into there. Okay. So cloning can be really good. I can also go into, remember I've got my column control, so I can also take my column control and move stuff down, up and down. And like I said to you before, and this is going to be another light bulb moment, I hope, if I'm inside of one of the columns, inside one of the rows of the column, if I right hand click, I can add a new column. Okay, and that's going to drop a column here. But say that I want this empty column on this side, okay? Right hand click, move column left, bang, done. There you go. Now I can create a little bit of extra space if I want to between these columns like that. Okay. Now remember, responsively, if there's no content in a column, it basically disappears on a mobile, right? So if in responsive mode we were to look at this page, this will stay at the top and this image will drop down. And let me just prove that to you now. So if I just save this and we just go to preview mode, you're going to see that this bigger image will drop underneath here. And although we have stuff in here to be able to turn off per device, which we're going to get to, that's what happens. See how it's dropped underneath? So hopefully that will have cleared up a lot of your problems that you've had with the way that it's behaving responsively for you. Now remember also, if you click inside a column and you go delete column, then it will delete that thing out. It will delete that whole unit out. So be careful. You can always do the Control Z. If you press Control, hold the Control key, press Z, then it will undo the last command, okay? So that's a good way to get in out. And you've also got version history up here that you can click back if you've saved it and you've exited out. So you've got that way of going back. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. Control Z is your best friend. And by the way, Control Y reverses it. So if I was to press Control Y, that will reverse it. So you go forwards and back, Control Y, Control Z. Yeah, Control Z undoes, Control Y redoes, if that's a word. Okay, so now I've got that out, I'm going to delete that out. So we've looked at that. I've already mentioned about drag and drop. Inside here, on here, you've got this drag and drop. You can drag it down. So you see where it goes, drop here, let go, and it goes into that area. Yeah, so that's your drag and drop, that's your delete, and that's your clone. And now a major one is we have the settings. Okay, so settings are controlling the look, the design, the feel of different elements, and there's lots of control settings for different things. Like images will have a different set of control options than say text, for instance, because it's just there. So if I click the settings, you're going to get something pop out from the left hand side that gives you more control. Now I don't really want to go through all of these because it's a lot, but trust me, these are all settings that will apply to it. And you'll also see apply design to desktop, tablet and mobile. A lot of people make the rookie mistake, right? And tell me again if you guys are one of these. Yeah, Command Z or Command Y for Mac users. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking, okay, so if I go into desktop, that's going to look for desktop, that's going to look for tablet, that's going to look for mobile. But if you are a beginner at doing this stuff, don't play around too much with that, right? Try and get it to work responsively for all devices. That's my big bit of advice for you. I've seen people get really messed up by changing different things per device, all right? And unless you've used this platform a lot and you kind of know more about what you're doing, it can cause a lot of problems. So let's have a look now at this. So inside here, this is the main block settings. So this is the blue, the containing block, as per our little design that we did. And you're going to notice inside here we have settings down here, an alignment, we've got background color, background image, background position. So let's have a look. Alignment, if I put alignment there left, then everything in there will shift to the left. Okay, do you see that? So it's a base control. You can also do it via an actual level control. So if I come into here, and this is the way most people do it, they go in here and they choose align left. But if you choose align left in the main block, it will apply to all of the blocks. So you've got that absolute control over every part. Personally, I like to do it on a element level so that I know what I'm doing with it. It's just easier. So I'd apply that left, I can go in there and I can apply that left as well because you've got that setting. So that's alignment for you. So let's go back up there to the settings. And inside here, you're going to see that we can apply a background color. So if I want to change that color, I can change it inside there. You're also going to notice that I can, on this main blue block, I can apply a background image. So if I go and select something like this is our background image, you're going to see it's going to appear in here. Now there's a reason why I've put this here. This will be the Canva template that I'm going to give to you in a while. But you're going to notice that it's appeared in here. Now there is a background position. So if notice that this image, this is the very top of the image, top image center, right? This is how it looks. And if I change the background position to center, the background image will shift. So it shifts in accordance to how big your block area is. And I'm going to give you a template of this so you can see exactly what it is, and you can put your images in there and play around with it. But you can basically change like bottom center. So now the bottom center, so it's pushing it. So it's saying, right, okay, in that block, you want it to appear from the bottom up, or in that block, you want it to appear from the image top down. Do you see what I mean? So it gives you that control in here. This is something that catches a lot of people out, and they have images that are really off and they haven't got it all nicely because they haven't set the image position inside here. Also, inside the blue block, you have the option. Now, this is the only block that you can do this. You can add background images to rows, but you don't have this option of being able to add anything. See there, it says background image there. You can add it to a row as well, but only with the top block, the blue block, can you put an overlay. So what's an overlay? Well, look at this image. I can't see anything. I can't see my text. What am I going to do? I want to use the image, but I can't see my text. So what I could do is I could use an overlay color. And if I turn that on, you're going to see overlay opacity comes up and overlay color. And if I hit there a white, for instance, I can now change that opacity so that my text now shows nice and clearly. Okay. So that is it in a nutshell. Now, one last thing to show you here is inside the blue block. By default, Zenler gives you this top 100 pixel and bottom 100 pixel spacing. So you can click in here. You'll notice it. If I mouse up, it changes to a double arrow. Now, if I click with my left mouse button and drag, I can decrease that number. Now, that number will not appear. You can see it going up and down, that little number. is there. Yeah, you can see that number going up and down, but that will not appear when you view it live, just for you. It's just for your reference. So you can go in there, you can change that, and you can move it right up like that. So you can actually pretty much get rid of it if you want to, like that. Okay, I've kind of got rid of it, but make sure that you click the mouse button once, otherwise it sort of jumps back down again. So you've got it there. I click, drag it up, and then I click, and then I'm okay. Okay, so that's the same for the bottom as well. Okay, so also inside here, if I select this row, we have padding and spacing. And if I click inside here, the settings for this, you could increase the top space. So absolute control with this stuff. Increase the bottom space. The inside space I can change. So spacing means the outside of an element. Inside means the padding. So it pushes inside. So see what happens to this text when I push left padding. See, pushes inside the box. So not only do we give you control with the spacing or margins around the outside, but we also give you that control of padding or spacing inside the box. Okay, now a lot of you might not use that, but if you do need that really pixel perfect control, you have it using this. So this is it in a nutshell. If I just click save that now and we look at that page, once it's saved out, I do advise you when you're working on stuff like this, try to save often. That way, in case your internet crashes or anything, then you've got that page. So let's refresh this page, and now you can see we've got this lovely block in here. And if I reduce this down for a mobile device, you're going to see it's going to go like this. Notice that the image, because it's center, is appearing in the center. Okay, like that. And that is that part. So that's the agenda part covered on the main elements and where are the settings. So let's have a look now at ready-made blocks for quick design. So this is, everybody loves this because it's ready-made blocks. But I personally, I don't. I never, ever use a ready-made block. My big problem about ready-made blocks is that someone else has designed it for me. I don't know what they've done with it. Right, so I don't know how it's coded. I don't know if it's coming in clean. And because the system's so easy, personally, for me to use, I tend to just do a Canva design of something I like the look of, and then I just make it work for my page. But a lot of people like to use these ready-made blocks, so I'm going to talk about them now. So that's my own personal viewpoint in here. So if I open blocks up here, you're going to notice that if you close the block, so if you open it like this, guys, right, you're going to see stuff, but you close the block up like this. So blocks on this left hand side, you have a lot of different blocks that we can use for. So if I go for something like call to action, I can take this block, say this block here, I can drag it. Again, it's drag and drop, isn't that? So we can drop it in there now, and it'll appear in here. Now if it's a different color, it's basically because Zenler looks at the brand colors and stuff that you set up, and it will use those. So it will use the same font, it will use the same colors. To get it to look the way that it was designed, you can click the settings and you can just simply turn off apply branding, and then it'll appear the same. Okay, so if you get that happen, just realize it's there. Personally, I like it to apply the branding, and then I just go in and change the colors. So I just go to the colors and I put it in there, and I decide, because most of the time you're changing these colors anyway. So if you're going background button color, you change it anyway. But these are the ready-made blocks, and there's a lot of them. I can't really go through them all, but we have a ton of different blocks in here for different things, and you can go in there and color those up as you see fit. So if I choose a nice little color there, by the way, guys, inside here you can select this little range and you can drag and you can move the color around. So you notice as I move this color around, I'm clicking and holding the left mouse button and I'm dragging this around. I'm just dragging it so I can find the exact color I want. I can also put a hexadecimal number in here to totally match that color. So if I went for a red, which is #FF0000, oh, that's wrong, it's not an hash. Yeah, my keyboard changed. What's going on? Let me just choose this. Okay, let's just choose that. and my keyboard's gone to American keyboard. Okay, FF0000. So if I did something like that, then it would go to that red color there. Okay, so you can also put numbers in there. So if you've got a hex number from a design, a branding sheet, if you've got a hex number from Canva in particular, you can match exactly to that and get it to work. All right, so that is how that works there. Let me jump back. Okay, so ready-made blocks, there's a ton of them in there, and therefore a ton of different things that you can use it for. Blocks that are worth noting in this lesson are the FAQ block, which is quite a good one. And I want to touch on dynamic blocks in a second, but you can see I've got these FAQ blocks. These are used quite a lot. So if I drag this in here, these are kind of cool because you can come in here and you can actually add FAQs. So if I go to the main block for the FAQ, which is this yellow, yeah, I know we've not mentioned yellow before. We have certain things that have got different colors if they're special blocks. So for instance, dynamic blocks are kind of like different color. We also have forms which are purple, which are a different color. So I've shown you the main blocks, the blue, the green row and the red elements, but we do have different ones. FAQ is really good. If you click this little settings button here, you can change the spacing and settings for this. You can also go in and grab these blocks and add them. So let me just show you what happens. I'm going to save this and we're going to just have a look at this FAQ block. So let me open it up. And inside here, you're going to notice it's closed, but it's open on here. What's going on? That's because it's an FAQ block. So if people click on here, it'll open up like this and it will replace them. So these are really handy. People use them a lot. I can also add it. So if I click this main yellow row or gold row and click that and clone it and I save it, it's going to repeat it. So I can change my text in here. So this is a really cool one for reducing things for FAQs or even extra content. So FAQ, let's call that 1. Let's just save that. I want to show you that there is a difference when we update. And if I go to here now and we just refresh that, now we've got FAQ 1 and we've got them closed in here. And of course you've got settings in here to change things like colors as well. So for this one, for instance, we look here, we've got the icon color is saying there and the border left. So if I make this border left, this kind of purpley color in here and saved it, I'm going to get a different color for that when I click it in. So as you can realize, I can't go through all the settings. There's too many, but you can play with it. You can play with all these settings. So you get this stuff come up now in purple. FAQ blocks used a lot. I know Oenka's in here and I think Oenka's used them a few times. Yeah, so FAQ, so it's worth you just going in, right, in your spare time and going, oh, I wonder what that block looks like, and just opening them up. Now, one thing I want to talk about is dynamic blocks. Notice it says dynamic. Whenever it says dynamic, all right, all you need to realize is it's pulling data in. So in the case of courses, it will pull courses into that block dynamically. So if I drag this one in here, I've got some courses on here, so they should automatically appear. These courses are being generated in this block from published courses on my site. So you could dump it anywhere you like as well. And inside here, you do have some settings. So you can go in here and you can change things inside here as well. Change that. I could even change the main background color inside here as well. Again, that's all under the settings. So you can play around with it and see how it looks. But that's automatically generated. So you'll notice that in this all courses, you've got a category and a search box in there. And in some of them you haven't, like here. So you've got all courses with filter and search, just all courses, my courses. This is for my course page. So people, when they log in, they can see which courses. So that all these blocks that you've got already built into the platform are actually already here. And a question that comes up in the Facebook group a lot is, I deleted the block out. Where do I find it again? In where it should be. So like in that case, it would be under courses, my courses, drop it into my courses page, and students will be able to see their courses again. If you remove it, then they won't be able to see the courses they've bought. We've also got featured courses as well, because you can make courses featured. So this is the block area. There's a ton of stuff in here. Also, we got footer as well. You're going to notice here we've got a dynamic footer. We've also got just standard footers that you can put in. Now, the great thing about a dynamic footer, and this is where I'm going to get to the header now, the header I've got here is a dynamic header. Wherever I have this dynamic header block, it will change. So if I changed it on one page, any changes I make on this page will be reflected on other pages because it's dynamically bringing the content in from the dynamic header block. The same applies for the dynamic footer. If it doesn't say the word dynamic, it will not replace it on every page because it's not in every page. It's a standalone thing. Okay, so understand that. Kevin, do you want to add to that in any way? Oh, I think Kevin's busy.
I'm here. I'm all good. Yeah, everyone's keeping up, so they're really excited by this. So yeah, keep going. It's really, really good.
Right, cool. Okay, so you now understand you've got blocks in there. You've got the custom blocks that you can drop in, and of course you can create blocks yourself. So creating your own blocks. So I want to get on to creating your own blocks because this is a really important part, and saving blocks out as well. So I'm going to quickly create a block that I've done actually in Canva, and I'm going to show you the Canva template. I did have the page open, but I closed it. So I need to just go to Canva, and then I'm going to share my screen and show you what I've got. And we're going to build something really, really quickly, really easy to do. And I hope you guys are going to do this. So this will be your mission for this workshop, okay? I'll make it so easy for you, don't worry. I'll give you the templates and everything. So inside here, we're inside a Canva account. Now I've got a few files. I've got a background image here, and that's that background image you guys just looked at. And I've got a banner image here. So I've got an image that I'm going to put right. And what we're going to do is we're going to construct what we've got here, okay? And we're just going to construct it now, and that's what I want you guys to do. So if we look at this, this is how I want you to think, is if you build something in Canva or you look at another website, what you need to be thinking of is how have they gridded that up? Okay, that's all you need to think about. So when you look at this, you go, okay, so it's a block of solid blue. There's an image here, and then there's text, and all the stuff is on the other side. So that dictates to me that this is 2 columns, 1 row, right? So if I train you that you understand the thinking behind designing, you should be able to create anything you like. If you're working with that, you already know how it works responsively, you know about the rows, and you know about adding images. So with that in mind, we can use default sizes. Now, these are my sizes. Zenler is very flexible. You can create different sizes, and you can put different size images in. It's absolutely fine. Just make sure that you don't go too big with images. So I'll give you this background image as a Canva template. I'm going to drop it in here. It will be on the replay page. You can download this and you can add whatever you like to it. This you can use for any of your background images. So all you guys will do, if you want to use a background image like this in here, you can use this template that I'm going to give you. So this is the first thing I'm going to do. Before I do the little build, I'm going to show you what you would do when you get this template. So if you want to put your own image in, you'll click and you'll open the template in your Canva account, and you'll basically just get all this stuff and you'll delete it all out. You'll just get rid of it all, okay? And now what we want to do is we want to add something inside here. So if I wanted to find another photo, for instance, you find a photo or you upload a photo, I'll just drag it in here and I'll just size it to whatever I like, or a right-hand click and set as background. And now I've got a nice background image. So what I can do now is I can go share, download. I will download it as a JPEG, guys. If you're using Pro, you can set the quality. I would set that about 60 because it's a smaller file size, but this size will work. So all you're going to do then is click download. Okay. Once that's downloaded, you're going to save that onto your desktop. I call it Forest here, and I'll put that onto my desktop here. And all you're going to do in the page builder is you're going to jump into your page builder, you're going to create a block and you're going to drop it in there. So I'm going to go blocks, I'm going to close that up, go empty block and throw that in there. And now I can go with that block, click that block, settings, go background image, click that little background image area, upload. It will open up. I'm going to grab that forest image, it's on my desktop. I'm going to upload without crop for this particular case, and bang, it's in there. And now I can set a nice tone behind that. Obviously you can center the position if you want to, center. I'm going to set an overlay for this because nothing will stand out on that of white, and then I'm going to set that like that, and that's how you can do it. So that's how you can set your background images in there, so you guys that are doing that. So I'll give you that and then you can add it. But let's now get on to the block build. So if we look at how we're going to do this and we say this is 2 columns, 1 row, our block build will be pretty simple. We need an image to fit in here, and then we need text on that side. So this is where I'm going to go back to another template that I'm going to give you, which is going to be this one here. And you can click and drag this, and you can drag any image you want. So delete this image out and drag the image that you want. So we're going to go in there like this, and we're going to export this out. Are you guys using the Pro Canva, and any of you using the free version of Canva? If you put that in the chat. So it's mixed. Okay. Right. So, okay. Good. Free. Lots of people are free. Lots of people are pro. Pros have got the advantage here because you can export out on a transparent background. You guys that are using free, you can't export out on a transparent background. So I'm going to show you what happens for both. So I'm going to download this now as a pro user. All right. So if we go download, I'm going to choose PNG, and I'm going to click here, transparent background. So this means that even if I change the background color by clicking the canvas and putting it into this blue, I will not get this background color exported. It will just be transparent. So if I go share, download, and then I go transparent background, okay, it will just take the image. So I'll go download, and you're going to see it in a second because I'm going to show you. I'm going to drop it in, and then I'm going to show you guys on the free plan what you're going to need to do. It's all right. It's no trouble. So I've got the image already downloaded there, but I'll download it new just so you're not cheating or anything. Okay, let's call this transparent. Okay, and click save. And I love transparencies because, okay, the file size is slightly bigger, but it means that you have flexibility. So let's jump into here now, guys. Don't worry, I'm going to jump back to Canva in a second to show you free users how to do this. I'm going to just come in and just take this image out of here. Okay, so I'm just on a white. Okay, what I want to do is, remember, I want 1 row, 2 columns. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to choose something like that. Okay, so now let me just delete this block out. It's annoying me. Okay, so now what I can do is I can select the main row there, and I'm going to choose not an overlay color. I'm going to choose a background color of something like our color, which is maybe like something like that. Notice I've got the overlay, so I need to turn that off. Now I'm going to come in here to elements, and I'm going to go to image, and now I'm going to upload that transparent image. Okay, so here we go. Here's the transparent one we just downloaded. Let's click upload, and let's upload without crop. Now you can crop this. You can go in and crop it like this. I love this about Zenler. You can actually go in and you can crop stuff down. But my size of my image is 600 by 600. I know it's the perfect size, so I always click upload without crop. But if you guys want to crop, you can if you want to. Then you just click crop and upload. I'm going to upload without crop. And now it's going to pop in here. Now look at this image. It is transparent. So the background color is showing through. So that gives me extra versatility. If I don't like that color very much, I want to change it slightly. I want to make it more on this side. Do you see what I mean? You can just change that color and it will appear underneath it. So for you guys that are using the free version, yes, there is, Scott, there is a plugin that you can put in for there to drop the color, to grab a color anywhere. But for this, we're not going to at the moment. So inside here, if I want to use Canva and produce this image out and still have it look like it's the background color, this is what I'll do. I'll make sure that when I'm happy with the color, I'll come in here and I'll take this color. So if I pick a color like, let me just show a completely different color like this. I will go in here and I will grab this color. Okay, so I'll copy that hexadecimal color. I'm copying it now. Okay, now I'm going to go to here, our Canva template, and inside here I'm going to click the base, and I'm going to click that little background color, and where I have this settings here, I'm going to click it and I'm going to paste in that color. Now what I've done is I've made this exactly the same color as this, exactly the same color, because I used the hexadecimal. So now, as a free user, you can now use this. So you can go to download, you can go to JPEG or PNG, and you can click download, and this will be a solid JPEG. It will just be downloaded here. Let's go, let's call this free, okay, in here, and I'll put it on my desktop and click OK, and then we'll just go and check it. So I go in here and I will put it, I'll put it this side so you can see the difference. So let's go in here now, let's upload the solid one for you free Canva users. Let's click open and upload without crop, and bang, we now have it exactly the same color as this. Of course, if I then decide, oh, you know what, I want to change the color, then you're going to have a problem because it's solid and it's showing that color. All right, so hopefully that has helped you with that side of things. So moving forwards, we're now going to just show you how to create that that block that we've already got. So let's start from scratch with this, and this is what I want you to do as part of your mission. So go into Canva, change this image to whatever you like, okay, and think about what you're going to do for this. Then I want you to go into the page builder, and I want you to go to blocks, I want you to go to empty block, and I want you to drag a block in. Now inside here, I want you to click add a row, and I want you to add 2 columns, probably 66 by 33, but it really doesn't matter. The next thing I want you to do is upload your image. So you're going to go to image and you're going to go to upload. And inside here, you're going to pick your transparent or your image that you've picked. I'm going to pick this transparent one and I'm going to upload without crop, and it's going to appear there like that. Okay. So I want it a bit bigger, so I'm going to move this way. So the next thing I want you to do, so simple this, so go in here, you're just going to go to headings, you're going to pick a heading, and you're going to go something like, I love this workshop, or name it, whatever you like inside there. Then you're going to pick the next one, and you're going to make something like text in here, and let's just make it all left aligned. And left aligned there for that one. And inside here, you're just going to put how you're finding the workshop. I find workshop be of great use going forwards. Okay, something like that. By the way, you can, let me just do some spelling checks in here. You can also use AI. So if you click AI, you can get in here, you can get it to rewrite it. And this will then rewrite that content. And when I stream, it always causes a problem. I do this all normally and it clicks and it just works straight through. But it will generate the content down there, and then you can copy and paste it straight into here. So the next thing I want you to do is click in here, and I want you to create a button. So inside here, we're going to create a button. So this is the first time I've used buttons. Again, in the settings of the button, if you come into here, I'm not going to have it full width. I'm going to have it normal. So like there. Also, that text is far too big. So I'm going to set this down to about 19 in here. And on the padding, I always do this actually. For padding for the buttons that it produces, I always set this on about 8 inside here. So this is all just playing with the bits that are going on. So I also want to make sure the alignment is left as well, so it jumps left. And I also find, and this is going to be really good for you, did you know that you don't have to just have positive numbers in spacings. Did you guys know that? Give me a yes or a no. Scott does. Yeah, Scott, you've been on my workshops, you know. Sandy knows. Sandy's been on the workshops. Barbara as well, I think. Aaron could definitely. So you guys that didn't know, you can have negative values. So if you look, for some reason, sometimes the button goes a little bit out. It doesn't go in line. So what I found, and this is something I do all the time, is I do a negative spacing of 10 on buttons. And I do this for all buttons. So negative 10 knocks it to exactly the right place. So like I said, Zenler is pixel perfect, but you can play around with negative values as well. So this is basically my block done. Now, notice that the content in here is centered to the image. So I make the image bigger, this would center in here, but I actually want this text to be higher up. So I can do that using a vertical alignment. If I click in that row setting, we go to vertical alignment and choose top. If you choose top, it'll all jump to the top. So if you guys need control of that, you can do it inside there. Okay, you'll also notice that if I bring the row down here, if I bring the column in, that this will get smaller. So get something that looks good, then click the settings there and maybe change that to a nice bright color, you know. Maybe that's too bright, I want that bigger. I'd do a screenshot of that. I love this workshop. Write what you love about the workshop, and then fire it off. So the button I've got here, you can notice the button, I haven't linked it to anything, but you can go into the settings in a button and you could link it to another page for you guys that don't know about linking. So you can link that to another page of the site to jump to another page. We're just using this for a test, so you know, but inside here, submit, we're going to put take the workshop, and then we could obviously link to the workshop. So once you finish that, we're going to save that, we're going to preview it, you're going to do your screenshot of that and post it on the group. So whatever you like, you can even mention in here, I work as, my business is this. You could even put your link in there if you want to. So you can use it as a way to promote. We only really allow you to promote your websites on Wow Wednesday, but for special workshops like this, we allow you to put stuff up. So use it as a promotion as well. So go in there, say I work, I train dogs, or you know, I do yoga, or any of these things. Put it in there and say how it's going to help your business. So make it, and then take a screen grab of that. Inside of Windows, I use the snippet tool, which is a snipping tool. You can type it in the search, get snipping tool, click new, and then you can just drag across it, take a screenshot of that, save that on your desktop and post that to the Facebook group, and that will be done then, and you've got that. So now we've got that, I'm going to preview this page, which is going to look at it, and inside here we're going to have our lovely thing, and if we bring this down, you're going to see that responsively it's going to go right under it like that. So that's how the responsive element works on that. Now another thing I need to tell you about is we're moving on to now saving custom blocks. So again, who's on the pro plan? Is anyone on the free plan?
You mean the Zenler free plan or the Zenler Pro plan?
Zenler free plan. Who's on the Zenler free plan? Pro. Everyone's on pro. Anyone on free? Odette's on free. Okay, most people are on pro. So if you guys don't know, you can save blocks out if you're on our pro or premium plan. And all you need to do is click the block here and click this little save block as template. And if I call this custom one, name it something that you can easily identify. Okay, it does give you a screenshot, but identification is really important. So in this case, I'm using custom one, but if it was a proper block, like my main header block, I might call it header block. Then it means that next time you open a page up, you can drop it in there. So if I go to a brand new page, let's go to this page here. I'm going to edit, I'm now editing a new page. So let me close those down. That block that we saved will appear in our custom blocks. So this was a little test showing you responsiveness of a page. Let me just show you this one as well. So notice the image is on the left hand side. So if I bring it down, there you go, it appears on the above it, okay, because of the responsive way it works. But if I want to add that custom block I just saved, I open blocks up, scroll right down to the bottom, right down the bottom, hidden away there, it says custom blocks. If I open that up, you're going to see that my custom block is here. I can click, hold that button and drag it across, and I've now got my block inside here. Sometimes it loses the color because of the branding thing that goes on, so you might need to go in, reset that color back in there, but that's a really good way of doing it. The other way for you free users, this will really save you a lot of time. A lot of times we have in the Facebook group is, how can I clone the block? How can I put this into another page? How can I do this? And especially for you free users, I'm going to close this down. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. If you've got a block in a page, say for instance this page here, and I want to put this into another page, I can come across free users. You can do this. Click these little marker here, and in fact, even you guys that are on the paid plan, I use this method sometimes rather than using the save the custom block, because it's kind of quicker. I can drag this, I can click this code, I can go in here, I can select all, Control A to select all, copy it. Now we're going to close that page down. I'm going to just leave that page, and I'm going to open that original page where I haven't got the block in, and I'm going to be pasting this into this page. So all we need to do is we just need a block in there. We need a block, and we can replace the code, and that's it. It's done. So 2 ways of saving blocks or speeding up your workflow for adding blocks. So let's let that load, and once that's loaded, I can go and drag in an empty block. Okay, so empty block, drag it in there, got an empty block in there, going to open up the little tab at the side, click that, press Control A to select all, delete it all out, press Control V to paste that code in from the block, and click save, and there you go, you've got it. Okay, so if it doesn't alter, you just click once and it just goes to the right place. So that's a really good way for you free users to get that. Ellie missed how to save as a template. Just watch the replay, Ellie, afterwards. Okay, so that moves us on now. So I've covered custom blocks. So adding animations, this is really cool as well. There's so much to do, like Kevin was saying, and Kevin said he was going to stop me if I was going a little bit crazy. So I'm waiting for him to step in and say stop. Right, but animations is really good. So really easy. You can add animation to pretty much anything inside Zenler. If I add it to an element, you're going to click the little settings icon. Have you noticed, or everything is through the settings? So look around here. There's always 2 tabs in here. One of them says settings. So settings, settings, animation. Let's choose an animation. Watch what happens. Do you see that? You've got these animation effects that will come in that you can add, and they're nice. Don't overdo it, but some of them are really good, like the ta-da, like that one there. Now you've also got a delay. So what we can do is we can have an element show after a specific time. So you could say, right, I'm going to delay that 3 seconds. So that element will not appear until 3 seconds after people are in there, and then it will pop up. Let's just prove that now. I'm going to save that. It will not say this is an H1 heading. You won't see that until 3 seconds. So we're going to load the page up. Nothing's there. 1, 2, 3, and now it should appear. There you go. So you can actually delay something popping up. Amit likes using this. Our Amit, who helps out in the group, he uses it quite a lot. The other thing is you can set an interval. So if I put this back on 0, I can set an interval. So maybe every 2 seconds I want it to do this animation. If I click save, and then I go back to the page and refresh it, you're going to have this happen every 2 seconds. So it's going to do it first of all, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 1, 2, etc. So you can control how that works. Now, if we think about this on a how could we get this to work? Imagine if you had several elements. So you have one element that comes in at 0 time. Then you had another element that comes in at 1 second. Suddenly you're adding a sequence of events. So I am getting more advanced here, I know, but it's worth pointing out because it's a really cool thing to do. So like inside here, I could put this on 0, and then I could come into this one and I could go and use an animation effect that happens after a 1 second interval. So what will happen is it will actually do it in sequence. So I'm going to choose different events here. I'm going to I'm now going to do this, and I'm going to put this one on a 2-second interval. So inside here, if we go to a 2-second interval here, we're going to get, and I'm going to do a different type of one there. So now I'm going to click save. I'm going to look at it. So what should happen is this one will come up straight away, this one will come up after 1 second, and this one will come up after 2 seconds. So if we hit the refresh now, 1 and 2 and then 3, bang, we've added a whole sequence in there just with a simple animation inside Zenler. I think that's pretty cool. I love that you can do all this stuff. Yes, you can animate buttons as well. You can animate absolutely everything in the platform. You can even animate this. So you can animate a whole row of stuff going on. Just look for that animation. So you can have an animation within an animation. Okay. So be careful, don't go overboard. Some people put too much in there. It's like bang, 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 bang. It flashes all over the place and drives you crazy. But that is how it works. So animations like hiding on a per device level. Now this is really important as well, and I'm going to show you quickly. Let's just say that I've set this block up here, block 2. Let's call this block 2. This will not take long at all, this one. So block 2, and this one is block 1. Okay, so I want block 1 to appear only on, and you can do this before you ask, you can do this on elements. Okay, you can also do it on blocks. The blue block, you can also do it on rows. So it's the same, you can apply it to anything you want. So block 1, I want it to show on desktops only, but I don't want it to show on a mobile or a desktop. So I've set up custom blocks. So if I click the settings of that row, go into settings, I can go hide on mobile and tablet. Yeah. Now if I go into this block here, I can say show on mobile and tablet, and don't show on desktop. Notice it's disappeared. You can't see it because it doesn't show. This is on a desktop. So let's now look at that in action. So if I click save now, we should have the block come up on desktop, and as soon as I reduce it down, it will disappear and block 2 will come up. So there it is. So we've got our animation. Watch what happens now when I reduce this down. Block 2 comes up, but block 1 disappears. So this is on a device level. You can see that it's doing this on a device level here. Okay, and that is how you can hide things per device. Okay, which is really good. Yeah, catch the eye is important on animation for sure. That's 100%. So you can add animations on everything inside there. Again, just look for those settings options. I'm going to keep talking about the settings all the time. So I've already now talked about how responsiveness works with these things. I've talked to you about some tips and tricks you can use for this stuff, about copying code blocks across and these sort of things. And I guess one thing I should talk about is, and it's probably the last thing, is really reusing content. So when you create something like this, for instance, if I've got a similar block going in, really just think about cloning the content. And this doesn't just go for this, it goes for everything. So like I said, if I wanted to switch these around, I'd move this column right and switch this order, and then I can just change the color and swap out the image. So if I now change this color and moved into something like this, then I've got a completely looking block that I've created in less than 3 seconds. Okay, also other things like if you change something like this and you think, oh, okay, so I want my background color inside here to be like this light blue color in here, then think about cloning it and reusing it in areas. So inside here, I could clone this, and then I could actually drop it into other areas in my site. So I could go up here and I could just move that into another area. It's reset itself, but you get the idea. You can move it around. So if I've got text, for instance, like in here that I've formatted, and I've got nothing in here, I will just clone that text and bring it down into that area. So I'm not having to redo it each time. Another thing is sometimes you'll have text right at the top and then you'll have the block right at the bottom. So what you can do, and this is a good little trick, is hold the control key and press minus on the keyboard. What will happen is you'll start to zoom down like this. And this can be really good because it allows you to go and click a block like this, clone it, and then inside here, I know it's really small, but then you can drag it into another area like here. Or the other way of doing it is you can reset it, move the block up closer to the other block, and then put it in from there. So that's something that happens a lot as well. If you click this blue block, you'll also see that you've got a little up and down. and you can add stuff going up and down inside here as well. Okay, so you've got that option as well. And remember what I said about extra rows, you can put extra rows inside here, so you can have 2 rows and then swap them out if you want as well. And that is how the page builder works. I know it's a lot to take on, there's so much you can do, and literally any design you have in your mind or you see on the internet, you can reproduce inside the Zenler platform with just thinking about it, just thinking about that column and that kind of row order and the way that it works responsively. If you're thinking about that, it will really help you. And that's the page builder. So guys, have a good play around with this, because there's so much stuff that you can do in here. There's going to be a series of live builds coming out after we finish this series where we're going to look exactly on this. I'm going to come up live and I'm going to say to you guys, give me a site you want me to duplicate the look and feel of, and I'm going to do it live in front of you. So then you'll learn a lot more about this stuff. But that is kind of the page builder. I think I've covered everything. Have I covered everything, Kevin? Are we all right?
I think
Q&A time.
You need to take a breath and probably have a drink of water, because you've done a lot of talking now.
Yeah.
And I know how dehydrated we can get when we're talking a lot. Okay, so we're gonna it's Q&A time, so we're gonna open up cameras and mics and stuff. So if you want to drop on, if you're on Facebook watching this, I have put the link in again for you to come and join us directly in Zoom if you wish. Questions we're only going to answer if you come on and ask them, because otherwise we'll probably miss them, to be fair. But have we undone the cameras yet? Do you want me to do that, or are you going to do that?
That people should be able to flick the cameras on. Ellie's on.
Oh, here we go.
Hello, Ellie. Good to see you. Yeah. Any question? So what I've done is I've locked the mics down. Right. I'm going to open up the mics, guys. Unless you're on, please keep your mic muted. Okay. Otherwise, we have to continually jump between. So I'm going to let you unmute so you can wreak havoc. Ellie.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. So, my question, if I can remember what it was. So if you create your page, or you build your page, and then you take a look at it on mobile, if you don't like how it looks on mobile, can you adjust it in the mobile section, and will it change and make trouble for the desktop?
Yeah, it can do. What I try and do, because of the way that it's responsive and everything flows, you should be able to, unless you're going to do something completely different, and then you might want to set up 2 blocks, one that shows in mobile and one that shows in on desktop or tablet. You know, a lot of websites, not so much now because everything's using this Bootstrap. In the good old days, you'd actually do a website for mobiles and you do a whole website for desktops. Now we got responsive, so everything like works. So you should be looking to try to make it work on all devices responsively. But if you need to tweak things, you can tweak them a little bit just to push stuff away. Something that I see a lot of people do, and you guys need to check this, is line spacing. Line spacing it's a devil with mobiles. Now let me just share my screen. I'm just going to show you what will happen here when I go to let me just actually properly share my screen, because you guys are up, so you might not see it if you're not spotlighted. Okay, so so here we go. So what I've got here is I've got a block. Now if I put a block and I put some more text, it doesn't really matter what the text is, but let me just show you what's going to happen here. I see this all the time. So this text looks good, doesn't it? Looks absolutely great in here. Fabulous. I love it. But what I see a lot of people do is they forget about the line height of the text. So if I come down here, as a rule of thumb, you need to check this. The line height is the distance between one text row and the next. If you forget about it, on a mobile, it will drop this text down and it will make it huge. So inside here, notice I've got a font size of 36. I've got a line height of 50.4. Okay, I'm going to go over, but that's already massive. I'm going to give you a best standards in a minute. But if I change that line height to, I don't know why it's done that. Okay, strange. Something's going wrong here. Don't know what. Let me just save it and preview. Decided to go crazy. If I just preview this page now, I don't know why it's put a line through it. Probably because I got a thing going on. I've changed it. Yes, right. Okay, let's work with another block. All right, let's put this in here. I think it's because I've got loads of animation and stuff running over it far too much. Text month here. Right, okay. So that is the line height that I've got. So if I go to here and I go down and I set this line height at 80, watch what happens. Massive. Now I'm going to leave that on 80 and I'm going to save this. I'm going to show you what happens. So I'm going to save that. So you wouldn't see anything in here. You think, oh yeah, everything's good. Everything looks good. And then you would go to your mobile version, or you might not even check because some people don't, and bring this down. And when you look at that text, you then got huge spaces between the text. Yeah. Of that. See that? See that huge space? And to put that right, and these are tweaks that you can do to check on mobile, Ellie. Okay, so to put that right, what I like to do is I like to do this. I like to take the font size, and on that font size, I like to add 3 or 4. So 36, I'm going to add in here 40. Okay, and that will give me a much better spacing between the two, and then you can tweak it. Now, always have a little document or a branding sheet telling you not just your font size, but also your line height, because it matters, because that, you know, it's going to show. And to go, if you've got a big site and you've made that mistake over the whole site, that's a big problem. You can get around it. You could use CSS to globally change things, but you know, I don't expect you guys to be doing that stuff. So now if I go and put this in here, then we've got a much better, look at it now, nice space in between it, not huge. So line height spacing is really important, and you should be careful with that as well. So Ellie, yeah, go in but tweak it. Try to get it to work with mobile. There's no reason why you have to tweak it much from the desktop version, you know? Just going to make sure those margins are in and those sort of things. So has that helped you? Fabulous. Yeah, Sandy's put in here suggested design for mobile first and then tweak for desktops. I personally, I don't. I think if you understand, if at the beginning I talked about responsiveness and how things work. I think if you're working and designing that way, then it's automatically going to happen. I don't think you should design for mobile unless all of your people are on mobile, because you're going to be looking at it, and mobile restricts you so much. Because you'll be like, right, okay, so that means I've got to put an image at the top and then I've got to put text underneath it, and I've got to do 2 rows on my desktop versions just so it looks right on mobile. But actually, if you just had an image and text, it's going to drop under anyway. So you're going to get the best of both worlds. So you should be looking at both, Sandy, not just looking at one, okay, to make sure that it's optimal for you. It's always going to look better on a desktop because you've got more room most of the time. So, Orenka, have you got a question? Hello.
It was just hello. It was just I was just going to go back and just talk about what you just talked about on the responsiveness, because that was a real nightmare for me to begin with. And when I went through, you did it, and I looked on the Zenler stuff, the tutorial stuff. So now when I do it, my last website, straight away I go, well, let's have a look in mobile. And so what I tend to do now is there's only if it's really complicated, you know, I do that sometimes. Then I have to do do 2 different ones underneath each other, but I just automatically now just shrink it down and get rid of extra rows, because I never understood that before. But yeah, so it makes a lot of sense just to design it and then just shrink it down on your screen so you can see what it looks like in mobile, and then rather than design it separately. Yeah,
absolutely. But the other thing, of course, is that I always use Inspector. So if you right hand click, you can use Inspector inside of, I don't know if you guys are doing it, but if you've got Chrome, most of the browsers, you have inspectors in there. But a lot of you are probably using the mobile version, looking at it in Zenler. And personally, I prefer to use this method. So I'm sharing this inside Chrome, I right hand click, and then I go down to Inspect, okay? If you click Inspect, what you're going to do is you're going to get a panel come out on the left, on the right hand side. If you click here, you're going to see Toggle Device Toolbar. Now, if you click that, it will toggle this down to a mobile, even with the burger menu in there. And this is really cool because what you can do inside of the inspector is you can check on a per device level. So you can actually go and say, what does it look like in a Pixel 7 phone? So you can actually see how stuff is going to look in different devices. And that's really cool as well, like Surface Pro, how that's going to look. So you can look at it inside here on that level. You could even set a custom size within here itself. So the inspector is a really cool tool for you to just check, and that's part of Chrome. But there's also inspectors in Edge, yeah, I think in Safari as well. So you guys on Mac should be able to use an inspector, or you can Google the word emulator and you can emulate and look at your website in an emulator as well. Yeah, good. Any more questions? You all good? Wow, you're good. Like, can I right click on a web page on a Mac and inspect? I don't know, Sandy. I think so.
David,
There'll definitely be an option.
Yeah, I was saying that is what we do because we do websites here. So I've learned how to inspect pages. I just asked a quick question. You said you wanted us to do homework. Do we just start a new post on the Facebook page, or are you going to start a post and we're going to drop it under?
I think, Kevin, what do you think? I think just throw it in there, because you're going to be saying about the workshop and things anyway. It just shows a little bit of buzz going around. Okay. And by the way, guys, there will be prizes. We're going to be asking you to do things on each of the sessions, right? So you've got 9 of them. Then we've got the open Q&A where Kevin will then do the competition winner. But the people that do all of these 9, they will receive the first, is it going to be the first lot of new branded swag, Kevin?
We are giving away the new branded swag. We haven't given any of it away yet. So that's definitely going to be out there.
Yeah. So drop it in there, get it down there. We'll write your names down. And for you guys that finish, do all 9 of the tasks. It's like a journey for you. It's a mission for you. And that way you'll put it on there. People will see that they're getting benefit. They'll sign up and they'll watch the replays. We now send the replay link out to you, so you get that as well. In the replay, this replay of this will go up today. It'll be available tonight for you guys to look at. Send an email out giving you a link to the replay, and in there will be the links to the Canva templates that I was talking about, because we've got those freebies. In fact, I could even give them to you now, so you've got them. So I've got the background image. I'm going to drop this in here now. Guys, grab this or wait until the replay. So that's the background image that we used, and the square image you used, I put in there. I will put that in there as well. So you can grab that and you can have those courtesy of us so that you can do the project. So all you need to do, empty block, 1 row, 2 columns, image one side, text in the next, with a heading, text, and a button. And I want you all to do it, just to show you can. And if you've learned anything, and you can ask questions as well, we've got this live streaming into the Facebook group, so you can add more questions in there. Kevin will look through those and field any questions, and we can answer them. But yeah, good. Session 2 completed.
This could be a good opportunity to update maybe your homepage. If you've not gone in there for a while and your header's a bit stale, stagnant, it's been there for a long time. This could be a good opportunity to do that and make that look really good. And play around with the logged in homepage as well, where you might want to do, most people, let's be fair, most people just have their home pages the same, logged in, logged out. So maybe a good chance to actually go, right, you know what, I'm going to do a logged in homepage for people already subscribed. and give them something a bit different and use this training to create that. That could be quite cool.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. I mean, what we've got on the tutorial site, if you guys go in there, what you'll see is if you're logged out, you'll see a different page. It's different to the actual logged in page. And on the logged in page, when you go in, it's more welcoming because you've joined it. So you can put welcome, you've joined, because you know that people who are logged in have joined you. So that can be a good way to kind of get that thing. At the moment, we haven't got personalization in there. I'd like that to happen. I'm sure Kevin would as well, where you could actually drop personalization. So when someone logs in, it actually comes up, says welcome, and then Ellie or our anchor in there comes up, you know, as you come in. Maybe that's something that would happen. It'd be really cool. Once you start tapping into personalization within pages based on logged in users, it's a game changer. So maybe that's something that will happen at some point, I hope.
Yeah, it'd be good if they did. I have a love-hate relationship with personalisation because it's only as good as the information people put into it.
Oh yeah, if you put a funny name in there, but it can be used for other things though, because you could, you know, if you've got, if you're logging users coming in, personalization can be used in a completely different way. So it's interesting. Oh, we're going to get on one of our things, aren't we? We need a brainstorming session. We need to do it live. We do it in private a lot, you know, so we come up with all these ideas. Good. All right. That's it then. I think we're finished.
Right, are we done? Do we have any more questions? Any more burning questions? Anybody on Facebook got anything? I haven't looked on there for a minute. Let me go and have a quick look. Personalization would be good. Blah, blah, blah. Probably, they're asking for the assets. If you have not seen the assets because you've not come into Zoom, then you need to sign up on the link that we sent you for the funnel for this workshop, because it will all go in on the replay pages. So we're not going to put it in Facebook. So please do come and sign up over there. We did say to you right at the beginning, to get the extras, you got to come in on through the funnel to be able to get it. So jump in there if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll drop the link in there after the session, guys. I haven't looked at the Facebook group, but I will go in there and have a look, and you'll have there. And if you register, you go through to it. That way, you get notification of the replay page, and I think it's priceless. Like if you've got access to the replay page, you can bookmark it in your browser. So it's like if you can't make it, you miss part because you have to shoot out or something like that. You've got those things. You can keep referring to it, because we are covering in you know, making sure it's good for everybody, but we're covering every part of the platform here. So you can use this as a resource going forwards. I think it's good. So get your questions lined up, you know, things that you're thinking. If you've got those questions, especially when we run into things like marketing funnels, communities, have those questions. You know,
there's a couple coming on Facebook that we're going to just throw in before we go, because they're reasonably simple ones. Someone's got an issue with the up and down block arrows don't always work, and blocks disappear.
Never had that problem.
I've had that problem. I've also had problems with drag and drop. You sometimes have to be a little bit particular with it if you're moving blocks up and down like that. It's, for me, it's a patience thing more than anything. Generally the up and down arrows work. So I'm not really sure if you've got a continued issue with things like that. That comes down to a tech query. So you need to talk to support about that, because it's really simplistic. You click the up thing and it'll take the block up. Click it down, it goes down below the next asset. So if that's not working, you need to go to support and ask them on that one.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's a case with, you know, there's two things. One is internet speed that can severely stop things from working for sure. It can be that sometimes, like you saw there, I had a little funny thing come up, and maybe it was because I added a ton of animation in there. You know, these can cause issues. But that is a good point, actually. It's worth bringing up at this point. We have Page Builder 2.0, haven't we? So that's coming in, and that is to iron out. So the tech team really are not working too much on the current page builder we've got, because we've got this new one coming in. But what's good about the new one is it's still got that same feel of the old one. It's just easier to use and it's been coded from the ground up. So when that comes in, everything's lightning fast. You know, they're checking out the load speed times in the sites across the board on the new page builder, and they are very impressive. So I can't wait for that to come out, and I think then we'll just move from this into that, but it'll still be drag and drop.
One more, and then we'll start wrapping up. This is Maria, struggling to get testimonials on a slideshow. How can I do this? When I upload a photo, it's not very visible.
Yeah, slideshow. I've done this. Oenka's here, aren't you? You had a problem with the slideshow testimonials, didn't you? And was it just perseverance, or why not get a user to tell us?
I think what it was getting the right template. So we managed to come up with a template, and that template was able to drop, because we use Canva as well as, and therefore we dropped in the template with the colors, and then it was just putting text on there. But when I've used it in my newest website, I now understand the margins, which I didn't before. So sometimes you got the stuff in, but you have to change the margins in order for it to go center or not go center. So yeah, it was a template that I used.
Yeah, and I did actually do a tutorial on it, so I show you how to do it. But whenever I seem to do things, they always sort of go right, because then someone sort of copies it, and then they can't do it. It doesn't work. It's so
It doesn't work
frustrating.
for mobiles, though. It doesn't work for mobiles.
Right.
I
Okay.
tried all kinds of stuff, and I couldn't get it to go for that. So I abandoned it. Just did static ones and tiles on the mobile.
Right. Okay. So maybe that's something I need to look at. Do a nice simple workshop to show a carousel of testimonials. Might be quite nice.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, I don't think we've got any more questions. So we'll leave it there for this particular session. David, thank you very much. I think you've given people a really good understanding of how the page builder works. I'd suggest, because there was a lot covered there, I'd suggest you go back and play it on -10 speed. So you can actually keep up with it and get done what you need to get done. Remember, the fundamentals are the key to being successful with this. And I think, you know, some of the simple tricks that we've been given in there today, I think will really, really help everybody. So, and remember, we're going to use this part. What you learn today is going to come into tomorrow, Saturday, when we look at pages and blogging, when we look at courses, when we look at webinars, all of these things. It's all revolves around. This is why it was session 2, because everything else follows on to that. So if you've not yet had a chance to really deeply understand it, I suggest we've got Saturday is our next session. So that'll be session 3. And then we're going to be rotating. So next Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So we're giving a few days in between each one to really get your head around what we're doing here, because there's a lot of information going on. So have a look at that. David said the replay will be in by at some point this evening, definitely tomorrow morning. So if you've not yet signed up for the replay area, then do that now. We'll make sure that the link's in at the end of the chat as well, before we go on Facebook. Session 3, which is on Saturday at 1 p.m, so same time. It will be me, and we'll be talking about pages. So we're not going to get into the building of pages, but we're going to look at the pages and how they correlate into a website. And we're going to be looking at the blogging area, so how that operates. And I'm not going to get into coding with you all or anything like that. We're going to look at it from a complete usability of the system only situation, and how we can improve what we've got. So they're the 2 areas we're going to be looking at on Saturday. So I'm excited about that. So if that's of interest to you, hop along Saturday afternoon and we'll go through that. That will be really good. For the full schedule, look on the page. We've still got another 8 sessions after that. So we're covering literally everything within the platform. I can't remember who's in next week, but it's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to all of them, to be fair. So remember, and I said this earlier, look at the session that we're going to run. Bring your questions for that session. So if you've got questions about pages or blogging, bring them with you on Saturday and we'll answer them on Saturday. Okay. That's going to be the theme throughout this workshop. And we're going to look at what it will inevitably do, just like it has today, is it will raise questions where we may end up doing a micro session on things like the testimonial block, and showing you different ways you can use and present testimonials using the Zenler platform. Not only using the current blocks, but maybe building out your own and making them look a bit unique. So every time you ask these things, we may not have the answer right here, right now, but what it does do is it prompts us to go, right, we'll do a mini session just on that and give you ideas on how you can improve your area on your site for what you're looking for. So the questions are really important. And we've got a lot of new people in as well. I'd just like to point out, I know we've got a lot of people that have been here for a long time, but in this particular workshop, we've had a huge amount of people literally smashing down Facebook's door to get in, even messaging support saying, I can't get into this workshop, I'm new, I want to get in. Haven't we, David? It was really quite amusing. So we do have a lot of new people in, so don't feel that just because you're new to Zenler, you can't ask these questions. Right, our job as David, myself, and the rest of the team, our role here in the education side is to make sure you have availability to all of the information you need. And if you can't find it as a new user, then we'll help you. Whether that's asking questions in a workshop, asking in Facebook, or anywhere else that you need to be. So it's really important you feel okay asking these things. Everybody was new once, right? And that's the point of this workshop, is to get everybody a little bit further forward than where they are right now. So I'm going to leave it now. David, amazing session as always. Everybody else, thank you for jumping onto Zoom with us, and being in Facebook with us. Hopefully you've enjoyed the dual experience this time. I'll see you on Saturday at 1 p.m. Look out for the email. It goes out a bit earlier, just so you know where the links are. It's an event in Facebook as well, so you can watch it on there if that's your preferred medium. And I'll catch you on Saturday. So enjoy the rest of your Thursday and Friday, and we will see you then. Thanks, everyone. See you later.